Hello students. So in this lecture we will start with our unconstant optimization problem. Okay. So we have already discussed the previous things what the optimality condition. Okay, for the function. Okay. So we have already calculated the necessary and sufficient condition for you can say the function. Okay, we have already seen the Hessian matrix and definite matrix, definite function. So what is the role of the definiteness in order to evaluate the maxima or the minima, local maxima minima? We have already derived the necessary and sufficient condition for the local maxima, local minima. Now, and we have already seen one example based on this. Okay, and then we have seen then we have promised you to start with the unconstant optimizer problem. So first we have to understand what the difference between the unconstant optimizer problem and the constant optimizer problem. In the unconstant optimizer problem, there is a no boundary value, there is a no constants basically. So what the constant we will see later after some time when we will start the constant optimizer problem. So here on custom optimization problem, we can solve this such type of problems using the numerical techniques. So just we will touch the unconstant optimization problem and the constant optimization problem, and we will touch one or two method to see to handle such type of problems. Okay, so that you can read further for the different types of unconstant optimization techniques. With the help of that techniques, you can apply that techniques to in order to solve such type of problems. But first of all, you have to understand what are the unconstant problems and what are the constant problems. Okay, so we have started with the very basics techniques, that is the numerical techniques. Now you can apply so many optimization, soft computing based optimization techniques. But the basic of all the techniques, all the optimization techniques are the numerical techniques, and that numerical techniques is based on simply a iterative process, iteration. Okay, so on that purpose, for that purpose, what is our objective? Basically, our objective of the iteration optimization process is to reach a minimum value for cost function or the objective function. So for that objective function, our target is to arrive at a minimum value. Okay, arrive at a minimum value for the next iteration. Let's say we can illustrate here with this equation. Fxk plus 1, k plus 1 is the iteration number. Okay, should be less than fxk. It means uh, whatever the value of x we got from the current situation should be the less than from the previous one. This is the concept. Okay, it means what is the concept? So concept is nothing but, now when we are going to add it, first of all we are at the point of fx. Suppose we are at the point of x. Okay, and whatever the value calculated with that x, the function is fx, right? So with the help of that fx, now we are going to increase, or whatever we have given some added, we have some perturbation in that x. Now we have to find out whatever the perturbation we have added, we have changed, we have done in the x value, or in the x value, either that value will be the less than that added value makes the function lesser than the fx or not. Okay, now we have to check. If the value is lesser than the previous one, it means our iteration, the current iteration will give the minimum value than the previous one, right? So it means we are going in the right direction from the previous one when the value is minimum in the current iteration. That is the k plus 1 iteration. Okay, so now idea is, so what we have done, we have perturbation, we have done some perturbation in the x kth instant. Now we have added lambda k plus lambda k into dk, where lambda is some type of one type of a scalar quantity that must be greater than 0. However, decay is, you have to understood these things. You have to understood these things in very clear, in very good manner. What the decay? Decay is nothing but the direction value. Okay, so you can say direction means search direction. Either you are going in the right direction or not, you have to find out. Okay, so if you are going the right direction, it means when you are scaling the direction, when you are multiplying the value with the direction value, and then we are adding some with the x value, okay, and putting this value in the f function, then whatever you got the value from the previous one, if your value is lesser than that, that means you are going toward the minimization problems, okay, or you can go in the right direction. Your direction you have chosen, you have your choice of the direction is right. Okay, so I think you understood the things. If you are not able to understand these things, no problem. As we will exceed, as we will proceed further, you can you will understand it in far better way. Okay, so let's say now fxk plus lambda k dk. Now we want to expand this using the Taylor series. Okay, with respect to x. Okay, so what we have to do? What simple? We have to first term is fxk obviously, and then the first term is second term is the gradient. Okay, and third should be the higher term. So and it must be the for the optimization for the minimization problem, it should be lesser than the fxk, right? It means we are going in the right direction if this condition like this. Okay, now the higher terms you can neglect, as you know. So when this fxk, you carry this fxk in the right side, or sorry, left side, so it becomes fxk minus fxk plus delta f transpose x at the x equal to xk lambda k dk is less than 0. Okay, so what does it means? So fxk will cancel out. Okay, fx will cancel out. So ultimately you got the equation, this one, and this is one is very important equation. I'm just illustrating. I'm trying to illustrate this equation. What we got? You got gradient of f transpose fx at x equal to xk lambda k into dk, right? Lambda is just a scalar quantity. Forget about that. So let's say I am taking the lambda as a 1, no problem. Okay, but your direction is never, your direction is multiplied with this gradient value. Okay, your dk value, the dk is multiplied with the gradient value. Okay, so it should be the less than equal to 0. Now let's say I have chosen dk is equals to minus of gradient of this value. Let's say I have chosen this value dk is equals to this one. How? And the question is, what is the condition? What is the condition when these two products are less than equal to 0? What is the condition for less than equal to 0? It means dk must be negative value. Dk must be the negative value. Okay, dk should be the less than 0. And what is the possible negative value? I have taken that negative value as a minus of gradient of that function. Okay, now see, it is a very important. Once again, I am just illustrating once again this slide. What we have to do first, what is the unconstrained problem? Unconstrained optimizer problem. Unconstrained optimizer problem is a problem optimizer problem without any constraints. So for that, such type of problems we have to solve such type of problems using the iterative method, that's the numerical method. Iteration method is based on, you have to calculate the function after a one iteration, after n iteration, and once you calculated the value for the next iteration, your next iteration must be lesser than your previous one, so that you are going in the right direction. If the value is decreasing, that you can say you are in the right approach, and you are going toward the minimization problem, your minimization types. Okay, okay, so now for that we have given the defined the condition fxk plus 1 is lesser than fxk. It means our current you can say iteration must be lesser than this one. So we have perturbed in this one, with respect to lambda k dk. Lambda is a scalar quantity where the dk is the direction value. We added with this and got this value. Now we have expanded this value using the Taylor series. Okay, so we got like this, and what is the condition for this? Less than 0, dk must be the negative value, and the one of the possible value is the negative. We have taken dk is equals to negative of what? Negative of you can say the uh, gradient. Okay, now see here from the next slide. From this slide you can understood. Now putting the value of dk, so the gradient of f transpose x into the gradient of fx. Okay, this is the value dk. Now multiply this one. So what you got? Okay, you got the second type of norms. What is the second type of norms? See here see y transpose into y transpose, let's say y is a vector, y transpose into y is nothing but what is this? Y1 square, y2 square plus, sorry, y1 square plus y2 square plus y3 square, okay, and so on, plus yn square, right? So it is nothing but you can say it is like a norms. It is like a second norms. Okay, what is second norms? Second norms is defined as y trans root over y transpose over y. Okay, it is always a positive value. It is always a positive value. So when it is a positive value, see, when it is a positive value, it is a positive, sorry, when it is a positive value, okay, multiplied with the negative value, it is always gives the less than equal to 0. It means you are going by choosing dk is equals to minus of gradient of fx of k. Okay, it means your choice is very accurate. You are going towards the right direction. Your optimization is, or your minimization problem is accurate. You are going towards the right direction, or your direction choice is your right, you can say like this. Okay, I think you understand these things. Now come to the steepest descent method algorithm. It is one of the popular algorithm. Okay, so our target is to minimize fx, that x is a vector quantity. Obviously, the order of that x is n cross 1. Okay, now you have to minimize this value. Sorry. So 0, 1, 2, 3 here, the super subscript representing 0, 1, 2, 3, the iteration number. Okay, so kth is the iteration. So x0, x1, x2 dot 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 up to the xk is generated using the following expression. The following expression we have seen in the previously. We have to perturb in xk. We have to perturb in sk by the multiplying, by adding some perturbation value. The perturbation value is very small. Okay, that perturbation value, how you calculate it? You have to multiply the scalar value with some direction value dk. Okay, so it means your scalar value should be greater than 0. However, the dk is the gradient of function, that is the direction function. Okay, so this method is called the gradient method. Okay, with predetermined step size lambda k for each iteration. Now I will illustrate in the next slide how you calculate the predetermined step size lambda k. You have there is a one method to calculate the step size. Okay, optimum step size, you can say. We have calculated dk, direction value. Okay, by choosing the f transpose, negative of f transpose k. But we have not, what is the optimum value of lambda k, that we will discuss in the next slide. Okay, so but the question is, but the problem of this stepwise descent algorithm is it has a very slow convergence with comparison to another latest operation. Okay, it is a very slow, it have a very slow convergence. Okay, convergence means the number of iteration required for the convergence of the at the same value, or the whatever you got the result. Okay, suppose you got the result at 1.11111. Okay, so 1.111 in calculating for that iteration, you have to take the higher number of trials, higher number of iteration, then then this result 1.1111 will be, let's say, to x20 iteration, x21 iteration, x22 iteration, you got the same 1.111, then you say the result is minimum. Okay, so like this, the vector decay satisfy it's called the less than 0, the called the direction of descent for the cost function we already seen here. Now the question is how you have to calculate the step size, that is the lambda k is equals to lambda k star. Okay, we have to the question is you have to choose the lambda step size. Okay, that is the scalar value, that is the lambda k. Okay, so now for the k to kth iteration. Okay, so what we have to choose the step size. Okay, so now in order to that again fxk plus lambda k dk, lambda k dk is nothing but the perturbed value in x, that x is representing the perturbation is may be represented in the form of delta x. Okay, so now this equation is again expanded using the Taylor series, right? And this Taylor series is here defined fxk plus function gradient of f transpose x k lambda k dk. Okay, plus 1 upon 2 factorial. Again it is like you can say what write like this is the quadratic function becomes lambda k dk transpose delta 2 for Hessian matrix, and then the lambda k dk plus rest of the high atom, sorry, rest of the high atoms. Okay, now in order to find the optimum value of step size, that is the lambda k is equals to lambda k star, we have to put this value equal to 0. The gradient of this delta f df by del k should be equal to 0. So okay, so it is a necessary condition. Okay, so first of all you have to understand this one. You know, listen, it is listen here. This fx is a known, right? At the kth iteration you know the value of x, you can calculate the value of fx. Once you know the fx, you calculate this also. The dk is also known. The lambda is unknown value. However, all the value in this equation you know except the lambda. So just put the differentiating for the optimum, you have to differentiate this one with respect to lambda equal to 0. And then when you differentiate this one, you got what? The first term and the second term. Okay, the first term of the gradient term and the Hessian term, the quadratic form of that equation. So equating that equation lambda k, you can calculate this minus gradient of f transpose x k dk into dk transpose divided by dk transpose into Hessian double derivative or second derivative of fxk into dk. So it is very, very important. Okay, so how you calculate the optimum value, you have to understood these things. Okay, right. So now come to the optimality condition for the constant type optimization. I am stopping here because there are so many algorithms are there. Okay, there are so many algorithms are there. I am just illustrating one of the simplest algorithm, that is the steepest descent algorithm. Okay, only. However, there are so many algorithms are there, but I am restricting here due to the time and due to syllabus. Okay, okay. So just next hour, just I'm touching this problem also. Okay, I'm not with the details of this, but one of the techniques I will discuss here, that the Lagrange multiplier, that is in your syllabus. So optimality condition for the constant optimization problem, generalized constant optimization problem. So in this, what the constant optimization problem. So there's a difference between the constant and unconstant optimization problem is like this. So can we start this equation, this as a next lecture as a constant optimization problem, so that you can understand better and the video should be more precisely. Okay, so therefore I am stopping here. Thank you very much.